If you are looking to build a personal website or a portfolio, this is, in my opinion, currently the best way to do it in 2023 or 2024. Whether you are coming from a background of a front-end development or a back-end development, or if you're a full-stack developer and you need something done quick and easy, in my opinion, this is the best way to do it. I would definitely not start from zero. I recommend using tools that will help you get to your portfolio faster. In my case, I decided to use Gatsby several years ago when I first built this version of my website. I'm currently redesigning it, but I'm going to stick with Gatsby. This video is obviously not sponsored, but I do like Gatsby a lot and I have been using it for several years now, and I've made multiple websites with it. Like I said, my website is built with Gatsby. This is the current/old version, depending when you're watching this video. It's very fast. The pages are loading basically instantly, and it's very easy to customize stuff, build different stuff. The Gatsby ecosystem in terms of Gatsby libraries is very rich. You are definitely covered there. If there are specific things that you want to build or make, there is a pretty good chance that there is a Gatsby specific plugin for it on NPM. I also made my brother's website in Gatsby several years ago, and it's based on my website, but it has a bunch of different stuff, such as these animations that were done with Framer Motion. I made some custom components to show off the tech stack that he was using to make these maps. And also, this is an interesting one, a sort of a filter component to show his presence on TV shows and radio shows, and also his appearances in newspaper articles. So yeah, that was very fun to make. I would definitely recommend Gatsby. As I said, it's very fast, it's very easy for beginners to get into. It is based on React, so if you don't know React and you don't want to learn React, then this is obviously not the best solution for you. But if you do know React, or if you are prepared to learn a bit of React, then this is definitely a very good solution. The only thing that I don't like about Gatsby is if you do have a blog, and you definitely don't need to have one, but if you do have one and if you have a lot of blog posts, your build times might get a bit long. This isn't that big of a deal, but it is definitely something that you should take into account. For this setup to work, you will need a GitHub account. We need to have a GitHub repo. You will need a Netlify account. I'm going to show you two ways how to upload it to Netlify. We will pick a template that we are going to set up on our own, and there are also some templates built into Netlify's deploy, so I'm going to show you those as well. So first things first, you need to choose the template that you want to base your website on. You need to go to gatsbyjs.com/starters, and this is Gatsby's official website for Gatsby starter templates. So there are a couple of filters here that you can use to filter by popular, headless CMS, blog, portfolio, etc. In your use case, if you're setting up a portfolio or blog, you should choose one of these two, so either blog or portfolio. In blog, there is the official Gatsby starter blog, which is updated to latest Gatsby version. Currently, that is 5 point something. There are, of course, other unofficial templates that you can use. If you do not want the blog, you can filter by portfolio, and you will have a couple of different templates here. If you really do not want to have a blog, then you should go with one of these, but I really don't see that much point, since even if you don't have a blog, your build time isn't going to be much different. And if at some point you do change your mind and you do want to start a blog, you will already have the stuff implemented, but definitely your personal preference. If you want my opinion on if you should have a blog or not, you should definitely have a blog, whether you are a beginner or a more experienced developer. If you are a beginner, it can help you learn through writing and posting blog posts, in terms of that you can document your journey from, basically starting from nothing to getting your first job or getting your first internship or something else. It won't necessarily land you a job, but it will make make you accountable to yourself. If you make it a goal to post every week, for example, or post every month, you will need to, have something to post. And if you're coming from a technical background, then you will probably need to write about stuff that you've learned or that you've built or stuff like that. So in my opinion, you should have a blog. In this example, I will show you how to set up a blog, and you can of course add pages to it as well. In case you really don't want to have a blog, there is also the boilerplate section where Gatsby has the default template. If you open up that template, it's called Gatsby Starter Default, and it basically looks like this. You can open up the demo if you click visit demo, and in there you can see sort of the way it looks like and the way it behaves. You have some predefined pages, you have some links. You would of course need to edit it once you set it up. This one is Gatsby Starter Portfolio Kara, which is not an official one, but it is the highest ranking one. So this is a portfolio with some parallax effects that you can see here. It looks very interesting, very colorful. If you want, you can go with that as well. The whole procedure is pretty much the same. But like I said, I will go with the blog starter. So let's open up the Gatsby Starter blog, and here you can find the command that you need to use to install it. So you can click here to copy, and you need to open up your Visual Studio. To open up the terminal, you click these three dots here, go to terminal and new terminal, and you will get a PowerShell terminal open. For me, it opens up in the default folder for my user. So I will navigate to my root folder, and I will copy paste the command that I got from the website. This right here, Gatsby Starter blog, this is basically going to be your folder and your project name. So if you want to change that, you need to go back and delete that, and let's say portfolio. And now when we hit enter, the installation should start. So this is obviously going to take some time, so I'm gonna skip forward to when it's done.
A few moments later.
Okay, so the installation is done, and now it's telling you to start the Gatsby website by running these commands, cd portfolio and Gatsby develop. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna say cd portfolio. Now we are inside portfolio, and we can say Gatsby develop. This will run your first build, and it will start your website on port 8000. Now that it's done building, we see that there are two links here. There's localhost on port 8000, and there's also GraphQL. I'm going to hold Control and click on the localhost, and it will open up my new Gatsby Starter blog. And this is basically it. So it starts with 3 blog posts that you can remove and start writing your own. Like I said, it's a pretty bare bones version where you would need to set up your pages, you would need to set up your navigation and stuff like that. Of course, if you didn't go with the blog starter and you went with the default boilerplate, then you wouldn't have a blog, you would have different pages. Depending on what you want to do, you may choose either one. So now we have it running locally, and I am going to stop the server. And to actually upload this to GitHub, we need to go to the source control tab here. Currently, we have the open folder and clone repository here. We need to go to file and open folder, and I'm going to navigate to my folder, which is in C Git repos portfolio, and I will select folder, and these are all your files. Source code is where all of your code is, so components, images used in the components, pages, stuff like that. So if you want to add more pages, you would add them here. Now to actually push this to GitHub to be able to deploy it, you need to open the source control tab here, and you will have a publish branch button over here. You will click on that, and it will open up 2 options for you. Publish to GitHub private repository, which will use your GitHub username / the name of the project that you use. So in my instance, I use portfolio, and the other one is the same one, except it's for the public repository. I'm going to publish to public repository. If you don't have your GitHub connected, you are probably going to get prompted to connect your GitHub account. Just follow the on-screen instructions, and the process has started. Our files are being uploaded, and it says it's successfully published, and I can open it on GitHub. and I click on it, and we can see there is a new repository here. And as you can see in the README, it says Gatsby blog starter, and here you can find some interesting resources to follow if you are just starting with Gatsby and React. So now we have our portfolio in a public repo. Next, we need to go to netlify.com, and there will be an option to log in here or sign up. If you don't have a Netlify account, you need to use the sign up button. I will use the login. If you are using GitHub, I would recommend logging in with GitHub, as it will connect our repositories basically automatically. So I'm going to go and log in with GitHub, and this will open up your dashboard. In your dashboard, you will see a button here called Add a New Site. You need to click on that, and you will have three options here: import an existing project, start from a template, or deploy manually. Deploy manually means you are basically going to drag and drop your files. Starting from a template is the second option that I mentioned at the start of this video, where there are some starter templates that you can use. And import an existing project is what we are going to do right now, as it will prompt us to choose a repository. But before we do that, I am going to show you the start from a template option. So if you didn't go with the Gatsby installation like I did, you will have some starter popular templates here. There is some Next.js blog starters here. There is another Next.js starter here. There is a Gatsby starter here, but it is a e-commerce theme. If you go to live demo, you will get the live demo of the template. So as you can see, this type of website, this type of template isn't really customized for a web developer portfolio. I mean, it could be if you have some interesting images of your projects, but it is intended for an e-commerce platform. If you want to check out more templates, you can scroll down and click browse more templates. So you basically choose your template here, and you will have to continue from that. We are going to go back and click add new site and import an existing project, and I'm going to click deploy from GitHub because my repo is on GitHub, and I will be asked to connect my Netlify to my GitHub, which I'm going to say authorize, and we are authorized and being redirected. If you don't see your repo here, you will have to configure the Netlify app on GitHub, where you will basically need to allow your repo to be seen by Netlify. So I'm going to click configure. I'm going to sign in. I need to scroll down, and there is an option here that says repository access. So I'm going to click select repositories, and I'm going to find my portfolio repository, and I will add it to the list, and I will click save. So now we can see the portfolio in our deploy list, and I can click on it. I believe you do not need to change any of these, and we can just click deploy, and we are going to get redirected to the deploy overview page, where you can see the deploy happening. If you want to see in detail what's going on, you can click on the deploy details, and you will get the deploy log that's happening in real time. This is basically the same terminal that you have on your end when you are building and starting your Gatsby website. So it's initialized and building is in progress, and I'm going to skip to when it's done. So the deploy has been completed. If there were no errors, you will have a clean build here. Everything is going to say complete. If there are any errors, you will need to go into logs and check what's going on. Now for me, it says publish deploy for stately kitsune, and there is a permalink here that I can click, and it will open up the website for me. So this is my link here. If you go to site configuration in this sidebar here, there is an option to change site name to stop it from being called stately kitsune. And I'm just going to say portfolio example. I'm going to click save. If your name is already taken, then you won't be able to do it. I will just say Alex portfolio example and click save. And you can see the site name has been changed. Now you have a new link over here that you can click, and it will open up your website in this new URL. Now, of course, you aren't done. I mean, you are done with the deploy, but obviously you aren't done because you do not want your portfolio to look like this. If you went ahead and published a more interesting looking starter like this one here, then you already have something going on for you. But for a boilerplate template like this one, you are going to need to set up your own CSS, your own styling, your own pages, which for me was a way to get into React and start learning React while I was still doing my full stack job. And that's how I did it. I installed Gatsby and started learning React through Gatsby, and my website has basically been a huge playground for me where I can install new stuff, playtest different libraries that I want to use. So maybe that could be the case for you as well. Thank you for joining me in today's tutorial. I really hope you learned something new. If you did, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe if you are new to my channel. If you would like to see more videos like this, make sure to post a comment in the comment section below and let me know if you have any suggestions for future topics or comments on this video. If you are in fact new to web development and React and are looking to get a new job soon, you might want to check out this other video that I made about potential mistakes that you might be making during your web development interviews or in the process of preparing for them. You might also want to check out some of my other videos. Regardless, I hope you find something interesting, and once again, thank you for joining me. My name is Alex, and I will see you in the next one.